started streaming. All right. Hello world, it's Siraj. Welcome to this live stream for week 7 of Make Money with Machine Learning. I'm very excited to have you guys here. Today, we're going to look over several midterm projects. We're going to look over 3 different midterm projects, and then we're going to, mute myself. We're going to look over 3 different midterm projects, and we're going to look over this book as well, Exponential Organizations, because we're going to go over the midterm projects because I want to show you guys examples of what good midterm projects look like, things that I liked about these midterm projects, things I did not like about these midterm projects, and just so you can see it, you can get an idea of what works, what doesn't work, and what you should maybe build for your final. So maybe you get some ideas as well. So that's the point of this live stream. I also want to say I do have a cough and a sneeze because I got the cold over the weekend. So if I cough during this live stream, I apologize in advance. All right, so let's start off with Q&A actually before we talk about anything else. Let me answer some questions that you guys have. AMA, anything about the coming weeks, week 7? I assigned a relatively easy assignment for week 7 because it's image classification, multi-class classification, because I want to give you guys a break after the midterm where, there's so many different components that go into that midterm. So I want to give you guys a break from that one and make week 7's homework a little easier. But don't worry, we've got some chatbot. We're going in on chatbots next week. So get ready for some dialogue flow, which I'm very excited about. I love NLP. Natural language processing is super. All right, so have you started evaluating week 6 homework or busy with midterms? I'm still busy with midterms. Look, the midterms are not pass-fail alone. I'm trying to give them a little bit more detail. I have some help with grading. Ravi is helping me with grading as well. So yeah, so if you haven't gotten a grade for your midterm or week 6, give me another week. All right, so just give me some time on that one. Midterms and week 6 assignments are coming in at the same time right now. Do you own an Apple phone? I have an iPhone, but it's an iPhone 8, or no, it's an iPhone 8, yeah. And I don't know, I don't find the need to upgrade my phone. I don't find the need to upgrade my phone. And the new iPhone looks horribly ugly to me. So the next time I upgrade my personal computing device, it's going to be to either AR goggles or a neural interface or something. How do we work with a large model like a 1 gigabytes or 2 gigabytes in a web app? That's a great question. There's different ways to do this. Sorry. One way to do this is to serve it directly. Now that's not ideal. The better way to do this is to compress that model file, right? So let me show you a little tool real quick. I've talked about this before. In fact, I talked about this in the week 7 lecture. But Onyx, it's not just good for, let me make sure I'm a little smaller here. Onyx is not just good for converting models into different formats. It's also good for compression, which is super useful. So Onyx is one example. If we search model compression Keras, there are various techniques that are, look at this, how to compress your Keras model 5x. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Chengwei Zhang. That's what I'm talking about. And to do that, let's see what it says. The pruning API, that's what it was. The pruning API. These are the 4 packages right here. Okay, so compression is one way. Another way is to serve it via an API. So it's not directly in your front end interface, but it is serving users. Other questions before we get into this? I know how to save and load, but I can't just do predictions. Den, just wait for this. These 3 examples I'm going to show you. It's going to explain everything. I'll show you exactly how to do that prediction, all right? Diraj asks, I have a pre-trained model which has input as raw images, but I want to work with it in a different format. What should I do? RAF format. Interesting. I haven't heard of that format, but it sounds like it's a medical data set. Am I right? In order to do that, I would suggest OpenCV. OpenCV is great for any kind of image pre-processing. If we go to the docs, we will find a lot of image pre-processing techniques. Let's see, which is the one we're looking for? We're looking for resizing. So we'll just go right to that. Resizing. Geometric transformations. All right, convert maps. Well, that's the C++ API. We want the Python API. Well, there's a corollary to this. It's probably called the same exact thing in Python. All right. I haven't submitted my midterm yet. What are you doing? Submit the midterm. Yes, you can still submit it before the end of this week. Your uni exams are coming up. Yeah, you can complete the course at your own time. The content is lifetime access. Although in terms of grading, I am only going to give that attention for the next for the duration of this course. It's a real-time course. Look at this. This is a live session, right? This is a live, living, breathing course. So that's why when if people are unhappy with the course in week 1, it's like give me a chance. It's like we haven't even like got into week 8 or week 9. How to a quick Flutter course. The Google developers have a great YouTube channel on Flutter. Google developers. I would just say go there directly, right here. This guy right here, this avatar. Let me show you this guy. Make myself smaller. Woo. Okay. Martin Aguinas. Yeah, he's got some great stuff here. Google and I, we learn from each other. We learn from each other's style of, how we present things. Okay, more questions, and then we're going to get started. 2 more questions. I'm going to answer... Time series prediction. I have a data set. That's not a question though. Okay. You'll see what I mean in this live stream. Can you slow down the pace of the course? 1 week break? I think sorry. In terms of a 1 week break, the final, you're gonna have more than 2 weeks to work on the final. So consider that a longer time period. All right. So enough with the questions. I want to provide some value for you guys. So let's go into these midterm projects. All right. I'll make myself smaller, and I'll get back to Q&A. Angel, did I dye my hair to look like Jan LeCun? No, I really did not. I had a friend suggest to me years ago that I would look cool. It would look cool if I had a silver streak. And I said, okay. I tried it out. And then I met Jan LeCun at a Facebook party. And I was like, hey, man, what's up? Hey, Jan, how's it going? And he's like, yes, I know who you are. I was like, oh, cool. Can I get a selfie? I was like, I asked him about his hair. I was like, is that real? And you know what he said? He was like, yes, this is real. Yours is fake. I was like, come on, bro. Anyway, that's my story. Let's get to this. So, this is a really great, let me make sure everything's all visible here. Yeah. All right, great. Make it a little bit bigger. Boom. All right. So, Florian and team, Sayan, Nishit, these guys made this app called LungCure. It is a fully functional and free lung disease detection web app with payment integration. Note that this part, the payment integration, is not something that I've seen any machine learning course ever ask a student to do. That's why this is unique. This is a very unique course. It's a very controversial course because a lot of people don't believe that this is possible, but we'll show them. So it's a fully functional app, great. I really like their design. And so, by the way, I want you guys to pitch in, let me know what things that you like, things that you don't like about the app, about the code as we look through them. I'm gonna be looking at the comments. I'll be agreeing with you or disagreeing. This is like a collaborative midterm review live session, all right? So first of all, right off the bat, I really like this front-end user interface, right? So this is very pretty. I like that there's 3 different pricing options, just like a real startup. It's a freemium model, good stuff. They deployed it to Heroku, great. But it looks like it might not be working right now. That's okay, that's okay. So what I want to do now is to look into the code. So let's see how they built this this thing. Let's go. Let's download this. Lungtier Master. So actually I already have it downloaded. So open. Okay, and then I'll open Sublime. Okay, so here it is. We're inside of the file, Lungtier Master. So let's take a look at this. Let me make sure it's all visible. Make it bigger. Okay. All right, all right. Okay, so static. So what's inside here? So in static, there's things that are not changing. These are good that they have these folders for static. Looks like they built this with Flask. Okay, good. All right. Okay, what are they using? They're using Flask for GUnicorn for production environments, for payments, for machine learning, for visualizations, Pillows for image preprocessing. Okay, cool stuff. Aha, here is our prediction file. So someone up here, Den, was asking how to have that pre-trained file load predictions. Ta-da, right here. This function is what you're looking for. Okay, so what they did was in this model deploy file, they put all of their machine learning code. So in the entire app, this is the machine learning, this one file. I like this. I like that they segmented this into its own file. And if we look at the stream quality is messed up. Is that true? It says it's good. I'll just keep going here. Okay. All right. So we're loading images, predicting images here. Okay. They hand coded the labels here. Okay. These are all the possible labels. It's a multi-class classification problem. And guys, it is autumn here in LA. It is just autumn. So I caught the cold. It got cold really fast. All right, so let's keep going here. What else we got here? So clearly that, I like that they put this machine learning code in its own file. They also had this IPython notebook, this Jupyter notebook, which showed their training process. So they used the Kaggle dataset it's fine? Okay, great. Of different lung images and their labels. Great. They visualized it. Most of them had no label. That's usually the case with real world data. And then what did they do? What did they do right here? They found that there were 14 labels. They visualized the occurrence of all of them. Great exploratory data analysis. That's one of the images. These are images of each different category. They use scikit-learn as their training application here. They use scikit-learn just for training and testing split. I think this is good to remember. You kind of always want to have scikit-learn in your back pocket. Even if you're not using it for machine learning, you want to use it for training and testing, like that split. And then, of course, they use Keras. Well, they actually use MobileNet. That's an image classifier. They retrained it on this data set, which is good. That's transfer learning. We like that. Less training time. And they tried 2 different training runs by changing these hyperparameters, and then ultimately they saved it to the disk as both a JSON and an H5 file. And that's where they're serving it right here. Okay, so that's their process, right? So if you have a Jupyter Notebook, you save it, you can serve it just like this. Okay, if we go to the index page, they put the CSS inside of the index.html in this style tag. And you know, this might be nitpicky, but let's, you know, I'm you know, at fault for doing this too, but let's try not to do this. You know, just saying, let's try to put the CSS in its own file, the HTML in its own file, the JavaScript in its own file. Just, you know, nitpicky stuff, but you know, I think it's useful because it's object oriented. It's just cleaner code. And as these things scale, it's going to make it easier for people to make modifications as we hire people. Okay, so where is that Stripe code? You know, I'm curious. Where do they put it? Like in the routes, they have a predict function. They have a pay function here. Okay, image upload. So it's going to be here somewhere. Where is that Stripe code? Stripe. There it is. Stripe, they imported it. Looks like they didn't add it here though. Interesting. We want to add it, guys. They're pulling the predictions from the back end and they're displaying them as some very pretty visualization right here. That's good. Okay. So that's it for this one. I just want to briefly go over this one. And if you want to check it out, Florian Woelke /lung cure at GitHub. All right. Okay, so let's keep going here. Namas 19. These guys made a medical cost estimator startup. Really like this idea. So this first one was for doctors. So it was a B2B. This is a B2C. So this is a tool for consumers. Now, we all have this problem of having to pay for medical bills. You know, maybe our insurance pays for it. Maybe, let me make myself bigger. I want to give a little speech here. Oh, you guys did add it in? You did add it in? Oh, it's in the HTML part. Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Let me... Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. Okay. So we all have these costs to pay, and you know, ideally, we can take care of those costs. We know how much they're going to be beforehand. So they created a form, simple HTML form for your medical costs. These are the features. Your name is a feature. Your sex is a feature, BMI, number of children. And once the form is filled, it's going to estimate the cost of your medical bills, which is extremely useful for families looking to get any kind of work done, or individuals as well. So that's really cool. And they have a medical cost estimator. They use Bootstrap clearly. I can see the, you know, Twitter Bootstrap is a front end interface, which is beautiful. So good job on that front. I like that they had Jupyter Notebooks, 2 of them, to segment the different things that they did. You know, they had one for EDA. They had one for the actual machine learning part. I think this part is really interesting right here because they did not use a neural network. They used a random forest. Gasp, right? Gasp. They used a random forest. What? Come on, guys. Come on, GitHub. Come on, GitHub. Really? Load up for me. Sometimes GitHub does this where it doesn't want to load a Jupyter Notebook. Seriously? Seriously, GitHub? All right, fine. All right. So anyway, They used a random forest, which is a version of ensemble learning for their classification problem. Basically, the idea behind random forests is to have a bunch of decision trees that are created during the training process, and then they are all learning to make predictions, and then we average well, there are different ways of averaging those weight values across all those trees to come to a final prediction, and that's the random forest idea. So, they use the Kaggle data set here for predicting the cost given these features: age, sex, BMI, children, smoker status. Um, I think an interesting part of their task was converting those features into from a categorical type to a nominal type, so that NumPy was able to interpret them, which we can see if we go back to the original file and download it. One thing I really like is that they have an auth file. So inside of this authentication file, they have this login route. They have the authentication logic segmented in a single file. That's just good practice. And here is the machine learning right here. From that form that I just showed you, they're taking in all of those input variables. They're using Pickle to load up the model, and they're making the predictions. And they're displaying them, rendering them back to the front end. Okay, and then another thing I really like is this user class. This is called object-oriented programming, like legit. They made a user have their own class. A user has these attributes. They have an ID, they have an email, they have a password. This is good practice. Do we have to do this? No. Does it look pretty? Yes. And does it help as the app scales, crucially? Yes. When you have more people involved in your project and you want to get other engineers to start working on this, it's useful to have readable code. Interestingly, I don't know if I like that they used a SQLite file locally. Look, it works. Good, great job. Overall, this is a great midterm. But they used SQLite, which is fine, but it just makes it. I think it makes it a little harder to scale over time because you have to deal with hosting a SQL database yourself. But hey, that's fine. Okay, so let me answer some questions here. We have some questions here. Can you please extend the midterm? Pradeep, sure. I'm missing one piece to complete the midterm. The text from the form to the model and back as output. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, so that's an NLP problem. Laura has an NLP issue. How to get the text from the form to the model and back. So I think this is a great example of how that's done right here. Laura, check this out. So they had the form, and let me just open this in Sublime. Like, what am I doing on GitHub here? Sublime. Here we go. Okay. All right, so let's look in here. I'll show you exactly how they did this here. Auth. Index. Login. No. Base. Here it is. Is this the one? No. And here it is. Profile. Da, 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 da. Input, email. Huh. models. Auth. Yeah, so the auth, Enrico is right that on reboot the DB will be lost. And so that's basically why I opt for Firebase over that. But right here. So here we go. Laura, check this out. So this is for, this isn't an image. This is just like numerical classification. You're talking about a text data, how to get the data. You know, whenever someone sends a request to this, so in the HTML, this is the route to make a request to. Inside of HTML, whenever we make a request to /estimate, we send this as a form, this data right here. Now, in the back end, we can actually retrieve that and store it into these variables. And once we have these variables here, we can say, you know, here they are as a NumPy array, predict right here. Using that NumPy array, here's a prediction, here's the cost. Now that's for numerical data. When it comes to text data, same thing really, you know, in terms of how to pass that from the front end to the back end. Jay also has a great point. The Flask 4 module is also really good because, I mean, their documentation is amazing. I just love Flask's documentation right here. Right? So this is for strings, your exact use case. Right? How to get them, retrieve them, create them. Definitely check out the Flask 4 module as well. Okay, so back to this one. So yeah, I really like this one. I like that they used more object-oriented design, and yeah. So there's that one, medical cost estimator. That one is found. I'll just add these links for you in the description for this video. Okay. All right, so let's keep going here. So the third one I wanted to show you is flight delay prediction. Let me X out of this. So for this one, these guys, how many of you have missed a flight before? You know, because I have all the time. I'm a notorious flight misser because I don't like airports and I try to minimize my time there. Just because, I don't know, it's just like awkward. I get anxious at airports. Okay, so this is a tool to help prevent that. So given these features, where you're going, where you are, what the airline is, the season, these are the features. You pay with Stripe. Ta-da, here's the form. I like this. I like the drop down. That's exactly what we need. It gives you a prediction of flight delay, 11% chance. This is a great tool. You know, you could charge like a $5 subscription fee for business travelers. You could charge like 20 a month. You know, this is a really useful tool right here. So let's take a look at it. Yesterday, this is fresh off the press, fresh off the submission. We're gonna really look at this one. Here we go. So, what do they got for us? Okay, they've got an authentication file like that. Ooh, this is something we don't like to see. We don't like to see that. So, global variables are able to be used throughout an app, right? That's the whole point of them being global. If we have them, we don't want to put them inside of a function. We want to put them at the very top of an app right here, like that. Okay, so if we do have globals, we want to put them up here. That's the first thing. That's just proper form. I mean, I don't expect you guys to know everything about programming. Obviously, I'm just, we're learning as we go. This is a different type of learning style. This is how I learn. I want to show the world how I learn, which is blasphemous. Another thing is this try catch loop. So we can do this thing right here. No. We don't want to do this. This can be easily a drop-down form where we say, it's like a case, case. I'm dying here. Just kidding. We don't want like too much of this here. But they did use this pickle file to make a prediction right here. So here's our prediction. You see the trend here amongst all of these submissions is that there's a similar process of get those features from the input from the user and then make the prediction in the back end. It's really that simple right there. Here's something cool. They added this memory usage reduction Python file to reduce the size of the data frame in memory. So sometimes when you take a huge data set and you load it into memory, say in Google Colab, for example, it can be too big for the processor to store. It's too big for RAM. So this file right here uses NumPy magic, compression magic, to reduce the size of that data set in memory, which is super useful. So this guy got it from Kaggle. Man, these Kaggle kernels are so useful. I mean, Kaggle alone is just a great learning tool right here. Like GBM, I remember that library. That was for hyperparameter optimization. These kernels are great. Because they went through all of these problems already, and they're sharing them in an open source way, so we can implement them ourselves. Okay, so back to this. So that's cool. I like that they did that. Auth. Where's the machine learning? Oh yeah, we already saw that. So, this prediction class. Oh no, this is okay. So this is dedication. Did you guys really write out every single airport? You gotta have found this somewhere, but that is dedication right there. They hard coded every single airport into HTML. Nice. All right. Okay, so I want you to check out these three. I'm going to put them into the video description. I'm going to do a Q&A now. And yeah, it's just a little shorter live stream this time because, as Laura says, I need to get some chicken soup or some kind of soup. So, AMA, ask me anything. In general, I'm just going to talk until I see some questions here. In general, I really like the midterms. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of them from you guys. You have until the end of this week to submit them. And what else? By the way, if you're liking the course, say so on social media, because people have a totally wrong idea about this course. They're like, this is not a real course. They're not learning anything. So just, if you like it a lot, let people know. Any progress on the docuseries with Netflix? Not really. Not really. I haven't heard anything yet, but these things take time. Please tell me you used some regex magic for that airport list. I hope so. I hope they did use some. Oh, I missed this question. How to make sure that people actually pay for these services? I made an app before, nobody bought it. Now that is a good question. Now actually, so I was predicting, pun intended, that someone would ask that, And so actually in week 7, you'll find a blog post, 8 ways that I wrote, 8 ways to acquire customers, from cold emails to social media tactics to email lists, things like that. But Raj, just give me another week. Like I said, I only graded some midterms. There are only grades for some midterms, not all of them yet. Stefan asks, how can we return an image to the website via Flask, such as displaying a plot rendered based on some user input? Hmm. Huh. Yeah, so if you look in my, you know, a great example of this would be actually this lung right here. These guys did exactly that. Lung Cure. Check out the Lung Cure um, demo link. I'll paste it in the video description, Stefan. Do you know of an API that provides live area-wise property prices? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good question. No, but let's search for one together. Live property price API. Hmm. Ooh, GitHub. Last active 9 days ago. Here we go. Check out this, sorry, GitHub repository. Once I generate, all right, lots of questions coming in now. Let me focus on the most valuable, I think. Flutter error. Matt, if you copy and paste that error into Google and then add the word GitHub after that, you're going to find some issues that have been solved in the Flutter repo with commands you need to type. So do that. Kapiel, good job. Ajay, yes. If you want to generate an SVG, yes. Okay, Sam, that's a great example. Any commercial sites that make use of image generation with GAN? I think so. Algorithmia. Pradeep, yes. Algorithmia does this. What's their product? They have this AI layer. It's like AI art service. There's got to be one. Turn your photos into art. I mean, this is just simple style transfer. It could be like GAN style transfer, you know? And they've got a price tag on this too, $2. So there's a, $20 or 20 euros for that. They might be using a GAN. There must be people using GANs in production, probably in some sort of generative, like a design app, or you know what I was looking for? I was looking for an interior designer, but like an AI version, and I couldn't find one. But I did find this service, Leaper. They're not out yet, but I think this is really cool. Check this out. So the idea is that you take a picture of your home with your phone, and then it uses some kind of it's probably a GAN. It's to add in objects that an interior designer would add. Now this is not out yet. Like this is still like being built, but just to show you that this is something in progress that real people are trying to do. Okay, Thank you, Sania. Yes, to the end of this week, Chakri. Okay, guys, that's it for this live stream. It's a little shorter, but that's just because I'm a little sick. Same time next week and every week until we're done. And I'll see you guys in the office hours. I really look forward to your midterms. If you haven't submitted them yet, please do so. And I love you guys. And let's definitely make some money with machine learning. Now, I think around week 7, week 8, we've got some basic high level mental model as to how to generally design at least an app that could make money with machine learning. And now moving forward, we want to figure out how to acquire customers and start thinking about scaling and how to actually get our first customer, things like that. So let's start thinking about that as we, submit the midterm and as we look forward to the final and as we get into the last weeks of this course. Okay, so thank you guys for being here, and I will see you in the Discord channel, and I hope to see some lively discussions there. All right, thank you. Bye.